Welcome to the world of Nathanael Provis, landscape and seascape artist.
Hello, fellow Hudson River School enthusiasts. Today I'm working on finishing this large landscape painting here, which is based very much on the Hudson River School style of painting. The scenery in this painting very much depicts the sort of scenery you would find in New Zealand's South Island, and it's just perfect for portraying the image of the rugged, wild outdoors at its best. The very elements that you find in a lot of Hudson River School paintings of the 1800s. Over on the left here you've got billowing storm clouds approaching. We have craggy rock faces. We have stones and rocks that have fallen down the hillside. And to the edge here we have some bushes and native shrubbery that's found clinging to the edge of the banks there. Yet despite this composition's dramatic and angry elements, this painting represents peace and shelter. I've decided to give it the title Sheltered Cove. Right now I'm going to add some of the finishing touches to this painting that you see here. I'm going to add the brightest highlights and the darkest darks. We'll call those low darks, how about that? And as I do so, you'll see how the painting really takes on an extra depth of atmosphere. I'm going to add the dark areas first. So I'm taking a small brush like this, and I'm going to mix some dark paint. Now, you could use black, but a lot of artists and teachers would say don't use a straight black. You're better to make your black either warm or cool. And to do that you can add burnt sienna, burnt umber, any of those colours to warm a black, or you can add ultramarine blue to cool it down. Depends whether you want your black to be warm or cold. So therefore it won't be a true black. You're really just trying to paint a dark, shady colour. So here's my very untidy palette here. I'm taking some lamp black, and at first I'm going to add shading to the rocks. So we're going to add some burnt umber to make sure that that shade of dark is going to be rich and warm. Mix it up like that with a little medium. And here I am just adding it to this rocky outcrop here. Now by increasing that dark area there, I'm making that crevice in the rock even deeper. Don't overdo it, of course, but just here and there, just in areas where you want to give your rocks a bit of extra dimension, like that. Like so. Now adding a little to these rocks over here. Just giving them some more cracks. Like that. Do rock faces as well. Just very lightly touching the brush over the area without putting too much paint on. Just very lightly. If you add too much, then that's when you just get a cloth or a tissue like this and just wipe it back. So therefore it's important that your layers behind are dry before you go about doing this. Now that I've finished adding my low darks for the time being, I'm going to add some of the brightest highlights to areas of the water the stones, and maybe the clouds. So to do that, I'm taking this fine brush here. I'm going to mix a shade of white. Of course, it won't be a pure white, but once again we need to decide whether it's going to be a warm white or a cool white. To make it warm, add a little yellow, and of course to cool it down, add some blue. Pretty basic, huh? Now, because I'm painting highlights on the water that are reflecting the clouds in the sky, this shade of white needs to be warm. So I've added a touch of yellow and a faint touch of the crimson here. Same as adding the dark lows, these highlights just need to be applied very thinly, just gently skimming the brush across the surface of the canvas. Not overdoing it. If you feel you've added too much, that's where we just gently wipe it back. You can use your finger, of course, if you want. I sometimes use my finger, or just gently brush a tissue across like that. Now, many of you are wanting to learn other techniques, like how to paint stones, rocks under the water, trees, dramatic clouds. You can learn these things by going to my online art academy, which is at nprovisacademy.com. There you can purchase a tutorial that shows me working on a painting like this from start to finish. And if you're also a fan of the Hudson River School style of painting like I am, then drop me a line. Do say hello. I'd love to hear from you. Connect up on Facebook. Send me a message. Until then, happy painting.